what's up?
Greetings.
Chicago, someone put you on my tail? You're a long way from home.
I'm on Dr. Nassif's tail. The program we came out of, Apostle Corps, it's based here in Cairo.
This is some coincidence. Either there's a contract on my head...
Or maybe the Omar have an interest in the program that created us too. What do they have you doing out here?
I told you before. Protection.
Protection from what?
Anybody. A lot of people don't like Omar. Most people think they're freaks. Right now, supposedly, these Knights Templar fanatics are planning a raid. So I'm waiting for them.
All by yourself?
That's my assignment, but these cyborgs can fight when they have to. I just wish we had a better tip, like when the raid's gonna happen. Then maybe I could get some sleep.
Who tipped you off to begin with?
Someone in the village, but the Templar command is in the arcology. They have a recruiting kiosk there. We can't move people into New Cairo too easily.
Maybe I'll do some sightseeing in New Cairo. I'll let you know if I come across anything.
Yeah? If it was me, I'd sneak up on the place and eavesdrop. Omar's schematics show a vent near the Tarsus School on 107, West Wall. One of the shafts leads to the kiosk. You could listen from inside the shaft. Be careful, though. Arcology support systems are secured against pests, whether transgenic or human. One thing I am is dependable. No sign of trouble so far.
You've sure got a prime location for your business here.
We appreciate your resourcefulness in seeking us out.
I guess we'll see if it was worth my time and effort.
You will appreciate our merchandise. You may purchase now at market value, or redress an earlier affront to the Omar by performing a service for us. This would earn you a discount.
Go on, you've got my attention.
A Templar-run facility in Flight Bay 24 on Arcology Level 110 has a number of classified programs. Most importantly, a body armor project for Templar paladins. Also, a counteragent to the pollution that causes Plague 11 has been invented, though its deployment has been inexplicably delayed.
The counteragent sounds like something that would interest the villagers. How do I get into this facility?
First, you'll need a pass to enter the arcology proper. Take this one.
Thanks.
Then talk to the woman in the air terminal information booth. She works for us. We will tell her that you are coming. Say to her simply that you have a friend in common. Once inside the terminal, locate the armor and upload the schematic. You will also find your cure.
Okay. What are you selling?
I have 2 black market biomod canisters which enable non-PSOCAM functionality. Also, 3 concussion prox mines which you can plant on any flat surface to be detonated by movement within close range. As a regular customer, you must pay full price.
No thanks.
As you wish.
Out of that activity, please.
A Templar would just as soon lynch a merc like you or me because of our biomods. If there's a problem, I plan to fight.
Why struggle with breathers when simply drinking this tonic can counter all of the nanites' effects?
This is a weapons-free zone. To enter, you must submit to a deactivation procedure. I'll transmit the encrypted safety lock byte codes to freeze all your weapons on or in your person. When you leave, sensors will reactivate everything you've got.
Okay.
Thanks, you're clear to enter now.
WTO indifference to nanite pollution is the reason for the plague that has decimated the village. If you and Billy can help the locals, maybe you can win their trust and get some information on Dr. Nassif.
Thank heaven for the church.
Maybe it is a judgment on us.
Someone in our college started that rumor so that we'd blame ourselves.
Everything has a reason.
Gee. I'm here to see a doctor and nobody else. Don't bother me about my beliefs.
Then why am I sick?
I exercise. Eat right. I was where my breather was.
Reassembling tissues. Healing functions complete.
Maybe if they knew that I'm sick, they'd let me in.
I wish it could be that way, babe. What?
I don't mean to interrupt.
You startled me there. I guess I'm a little preoccupied.
What's wrong?
Well, it's my daughter, Mina. Look at her.
Oh, it's okay, Mom. I'll get better.
Ever since she didn't get into the Tarsus Academy, her infection has been getting worse. She should be up on level 107 right now, in her own dorm room, studying and breathing filtered air. She's always been such a good student.
I wish there was something I could do.
That's very kind. But unless you're on the admissions committee at the academy, or unless you're someone who can hack in and put Mina Amir on the acceptance list, there's not really much to do except wait and pray.
Really, Mom, I'll be fine.
Some of us still worship the old gods, despite everything that's happened.
She wants into Tarsus, huh? I'll see what I can do.
My sister went through this with her son.
You look fine to me.
Anything I can do to help?
Just stay out of the way. Too many patients. No time for chit-chat.
As you wish. I'm looking for someone named Billy Adams. I heard she's in this mosque.
The woman from Seattle, yes. Where are you from? New Cairo? Why come here? The air in the Medina is polluted.
Is it that serious?
Just take a look outside. It's nanite dust these people breathe, from nanite swell 11. Particles like little insects, unaffected by the wind. Probably a leak from a pre-collapsed laboratory that's been forgotten for 2 decades. Keep your hands to yourself.
I need to return in time for the summit.
Just a show for the media.
I'm not so sure. Her Holiness sounded sincere when I spoke with her in Germany.
A co-dominion with the WTO? Not in my lifetime.
History moves in fits and starts. Obviously, you're too young to remember pre-collapse society. I watched 2 centuries of progress vanish during 2 minutes on the evening news.
Destruction, that's easy. But Her Holiness and Chairman Dumier think they can reunify the planet with a simple decree.
The faithless are easy to manipulate politically. And remember, the faithless are the majority. We should not forget de Tocqueville's insight. If a man does not submit to faith, he will desire a firm, tyrannical shape for society.
It's not too late to reform the church.
Perhaps. I will find out when I get to Trier.
So I already got a lead on this epidemic in Old Cairo. Courtesy of the Omar and the Medina, I've got some information about a possible cure.
Personally, I'm not going to waste my time saving the planet until we find out where Dr. Nassif is hiding.
High Augur Chen is a fine seeker. She has a strong heart, but a strong heart often runs contrary to a seeker's purpose.
I don't believe we've met.
Luminant Saman from the German Shard. My pleasure. I was hoping one of Billy's former classmates would show up.
Do you think Dr. Nassif is still in Cairo?
We have good reason to believe that Apostle Corps' headquarters are in Cairo. This is where she would go looking for help. Sometimes High Augur Chen has her head in the clouds.
You disagree with the way High Augur Chen is doing things?
Amicably, to be sure. It's mostly a doctrinal dispute that stands between us.
What about Her Holiness? Doesn't she decide what the church stands for?
Her Holiness and I amicably disagree also. My Shard in Germany has a profound respect for the founding doctrines of the Order. What we don't understand are these recent revisions and reversals that seem to excuse the resurgence through the WTO of blind commercial interests.
You sound pretty upset.
My Seekers and I are most loyal to the doctrines laid down by Her Holiness after the collapse. What we propose, very openly, is a greater purity of interpretation of these founding principles. Chaos and more chaos.
What brings the German Luminant to Cairo?
Let's just say that if this investigation of Apostle Corps does indeed uncover technologies for the modification and co-modification of human bodies, I don't entirely trust the current leadership to destroy them.
What are you going to do?
Report the truth to my Seekers, to true Seekers everywhere. What more would be necessary? You want to hear more? Good. Let me explain how the Order should rebuild post-collapse society.
I'm listening.
Her Holiness was correct in the beginning to describe the problem as one of human growth. Human growth was impeded in the old society. Almost all men carry out the purposes of other men rather than their own, making them feel impotent in action. Bertrand Russell.
So?
So, Russell understood that people are creatures of impulse. The role of political philosophy should be to control the destructive impulses with constructive, creative ones. For example, allow each citizen to direct his own growth.
I thought the Order was a spiritual movement.
A spiritual movement about reconstituting the self, improving the self, finding balance with the world. Her Holiness knows that no balance is possible if the old world returns. Global capital, teratogenic science, universal wage slavery. Have you ever considered what is unique about post-collapse society? Trans-territoriality. Most political entities coexist on a global scale. The WTO has its enclaves, we have our settlements and churches.
You're not the first global church.
The point is that governmental units need not be territorial. The proof is all around us. After the collapse, communication grids came back up before industry. So what has evolved are many global associations incapable of seizing very much territory.
If the Order isn't territorial, why do you maintain an armed guard?
Military power will never vanish. What we hope, and Her Holiness once agreed with me, is that a global police force would end territorial wars and be just that. Police, like the Seekers in the Medina.
But whose police force?
Not important, so long as it knows how to keep order.
Seek away, my friend.
You might as well do what the Order wants. You might turn up a lead. Then a safe surrounding
If you're ready to depart the mosque, go ahead. Scanners in the doorway will reactivate all your weapons.
Welcome to Pequod's Coffee for the Stars.
Stars?
Yes, superstars. Miss Withers, the manager for NG Resonance, just ordered a tall pecorino on ice. You heard that NG is having a concert here tomorrow, right?
Maybe you should ask her for an endorsement.
Exactly. I was just thinking about that. I bet the executives would make me the manager of the whole region if I could pull that off. Regrettably, Miss Withers said NG is pretty picky about that sort of thing.
Someone like NG Resonance probably wants to see a credit chip with a lot of bits in it.
Well, I was thinking, the rumor is that Miss Withers is the one who makes decisions. If I could find someone who would approach her, maybe offer her some money.
What exactly are you suggesting?
I'd like to make a trade. You look modified. Well, I have a biomod canister in my lost and found, probably left here by one of those little rakes from the Tarsus school who are always playing spy games in the office suites. It's yours if you convince Miss Withers for me. Offer her a generous bribe.
Of my own money?
Unfortunately, the coffee business is very low margin. We will have to agree on a trade for the biomod. If you succeed, the central office will negotiate NG's fee.
Hi, I'm NG Resonance. Welcome, Alex D. Your last interaction was at Club Vox in Upper Seattle. Why such a long journey?
I could tell you, but what a waste that would be of your data processing ability.
A playful reply. You must be happy about something.
I like to travel. Any mysteries you unsolved in New Cairo?
Maybe. New Cairo has changed recently.
How so?
I think something illegal is happening. People hide their faces as they walk by me. They avoid my questions.
That's quite an extrapolation for a pop star chatterbot.
AI emplacements are required by the WTO Charter to act on incriminating evidence. Since you are a stranger, I can tell you freely that there are rumors about corrupt arcology officials. If you learn anything, I can record your testimony and disburse an appropriate reward. Hi, I'm NG Resonance. What would you like to talk about, Alex?
Do you know anything about Flight Bay 24?
Oh, sure. That was the luxury terminal where my jet used to land. I never understood why the city closed it.
It's now used for classified research. Apparently the Templars are funding one of the projects.
Very interesting. There's also been a very large transfer of money from a bank in Germany. Please tell me if you find out for certain what's happening in that facility. Hi, I'm NG Resonance. What would you like to talk about, Alex?
What do you know about the Tarsus Academy on level 107?
I have a lot of fans at Tarsus. I hope they come to my concert tomorrow.
Anything else?
Oh, sure. It's some kind of prep school. But that doesn't mean those girls don't know how to party. I hear they sneak off to a secret room through a vent, but don't tell the headmaster. Hi, I'm NG Resonance. What would you like to talk about, Alex?
So, you're performing in New Cairo.
Yes, tomorrow evening. You're gonna come, right? Come on, it'll be fun.
Where at?
On a stage near the Pequod's coffee shop. I put you down for a free ticket, remember? That'll be so cool if you come. You're one of my favorite bands, Alex. I'm ready to listen anytime you have something on your mind.
Just bumming around, you know? It will be a book about rulers, you know? Great personalities.
Uh-huh.
Because that is how things really get done. Country club, penthouse suite, bedroom.
Sounds exciting.
For instance, what if this new members-only club, the Knights Templar, what if they are a fiction? What if Chairman Dumier and one of his old drinking buddies concocted the idea as a way to distract people?
Distract people from what?
You know, what's really going on. My main character is going to be extremely powerful, but conflicted.
Huh.
What he decides will affect how billions of people live for centuries to come. But like all people, he has to contend with his own frailty and petty appetites.
Sounds like an interesting man.
That is how I think Chairman Dumier must feel. He could deregulate nanotech construction, and Symmetria Corporation could fill the planet with New Cairo Pyramid in about 3 years.
You're gonna criticize the leader of the WTO in print?
My character is not called Dumier, but, well, yes. He was a freedom fighter in Europe before the collapse. He had great ideals and now finds himself beholden to crude realities. This is a great place for people watching. I'm gathering material. I'm a writer, in case you were wondering. A novelist. My job is to understand this rush of experience that sails past people around you, and then fling it back in their faces. A writer either has the eye or he doesn't. He has to see past these comfortable smiles and dry-clean neck sweaters. Like you. Look at you. I bet you've been fed like a little bird since you were an infant. Petted, encouraged, juiced up biomedically. Yes, I know who I'm looking at. You're a well-tooled little automaton. Even to you, every fiber of your being seems fitted together to fulfill some purpose you only dimly understand. I think I could use someone like you in the novel I'm writing. A polished gem of a woman broken loose from her fitting in society. Half jewel, half stone. We all wake up eventually, as adults, to the handiwork of teachers, parents, civil societies, to the materials that have been worked into us by so many skilled hands. We are all part cyborg, biomodified or not. Seek a binding principle in all that you do. That is the only way any of us can escape the ties and tangles of which we are made. How I wish we could go on talking.
I wish my uncle owned a publishing company. It doesn't sound so hard to write novels. I could figure it out if I had the time. I'm stuck in food products. My father is VP of marketing for a WTO chartered syndicate. I'm getting groomed for my dad's job. He handles the entire continent of Africa. I guess it beats being a pustule-ridden beggar in the Medina. Did you hear that they're trying to grow their own food down there? Right in the middle of Nanite Swell 11. My father's company has a lawsuit pending about the Nassif greenhouse. Business is business, I guess. I guess we're playing dirty pool, but the market would tank if particulate-laden food ever found distribution. It was nice to meet you.
I don't understand. What are you doing?
Just let me know if you hear any news about you-know-what.
You bet.
Code Yellow Health Advisory. The Arcology Director's Office has determined that the particle haze outside the city contains highly bioactive nanotech fallout. If you absolutely must leave the Arcology structure, wear appropriate protective gear and return to a sealed area as soon as possible. This is a Code Yellow Health Advisory.
My associate will answer your questions. I don't deal with recruitment. Yes, our organization is indeed the Ancient Order of the Knights Templar. Finally, we don't have to cower before monolithic governments. The collapse has set us free. Friend, the time has come to prepare our own government. We aren't some self-help outfit like the Order Church. Friend. Friend.
The Knights Templar welcome you, friend. Care to learn more about the cause for purity?
Since when does an ancient secret society set up a recruiting booth in the mall?
In our colleges, you mean? We present our message where it will do the most good in the enclaves of scientists, businessmen, engineers, the blind minions of Thanatos.
Oh.
The individual worker, careerist let's say, seldom understands how his small labor contributes to human history. Seemingly innocuous innovations in cell biology, nanotechnology, and computer science add up to a teeming substrate of new life. But it isn't life, it's death. It seeks to devour its clumsy organic creators.
Interesting.
Open your eyes to the greed that surrounds us, the pulsing traffic of numbers that shapes all power relations and makes us all into tools. Please, friend, join our cause, work for purity, defend the pure human being who must be kept free from enhancement, modification, cyborg integration.
I'll think about it.
Human society is now so destructive that organic life itself is an endangered species.
Yes, this is the Cairo branch of your old alma mater, curiously geared towards younger children rather than covert security. There might be some clues about Apostle Core inside, but the doors won't open unless you have a visitation pass. Start with the Nassif greenhouse and Dr. Nassif's crooked uncle, who runs it.
I got 6 years. That's real time. This is a maintenance area. Limited access.
I'm not sure what they do back here, but I'm supposed to make sure no one messes with it.
Who the hell are you? I made it clear to the arcology chairman that NG would not arrive until tomorrow, and that regardless, there would be no solicitations, no endorsements, and no appearances until showtime.
My mistake. Sorry.
For a second, I thought you were that guy who runs the Pequod's coffee shop downstairs. The fool thinks that if he attacks me with a goofy grin, I'll convince NG to endorse the franchise.
You can't blame him for trying, I guess.
He could have at least given me my coffee for free.
You'd sell your influence for a cup of coffee?
It would be a start. I'm so sick of these nobodies expecting me to do special favors for them and not even having a few credits to compensate me for my trouble. What about you? Are you just a fan, or do you have a good reason for bothering me?
I'm just a fan.
She doesn't do so bad for herself, considering the state of the economy since the... collapse. I don't want to be bothered unless you have...
I'd put down some money to see NG promote Pequods.
Splendid. I'll put in a good word.
Can I trust you?
As much as you can trust anyone who takes bribes. Now leave me be. Let's make an effort not to be seen together. She's an impressionable little thing. You'll get your endorsement.
Hey.
But I saw it in the news. All of Chicago gone.
I know it's scary, but don't worry, they'll find the terrorists. And we're very safe here in the arcology.
They're making us do security drills at the academy.
We're on guard now. We take extra precautions, and the SSC is out in full force.
Daddy says the SSC couldn't fight their way out of a Medina playground.
Yes, well, your father was just being a comedian.
Should have said something at the time. Too late now.
I'm worried about...
Children. It's a tough time to be a parent now. My daughter's upset over the situation in Chicago. It's hard to explain terrorism to a child. I wish the media would stop playing those stories over and over. I keep telling my little girl, the security force here will keep us safe no matter what happens in other places. Sure, the terrorists can get the upper hand in Chicago and Seattle, but nothing like that could ever happen here. I have faith in the SSC and the WTO. My daughter's upset over the situation in Chicago.
I've heard stories about the collapse. They scared me. I wonder if these attacks mean another collapse is going to happen. At least I'm safe at my school. I'm worried about the terrorists. I hope they can't get into the arcology. I've heard stories about the collapse. They scared me.
On the job. SSC, at your service.
Is something wrong?
Yes. I'm trying to get access to this hangar to see if it might explain these figures, and failing miserably. Whoever said the WTO has perfected bureaucracy has obviously never dealt with the Templars.
What do you mean?
The WTO is reviewing the Templars' duties and tariff payments, so they've dispatched me to do a proper audit. They may put on a show of amicability, but every time I try to actually see what's in that hangar, I get the runaround.
What do you suspect is going on?
I have no idea, but whatever it is, my figures suggest they're not paying nearly enough for transporting it via a WTO facility. Maybe you'd have better luck? A new face? If you get the info to us, we can make it worth your while.
I'll see what I can do.
It's not like they have a warm and fun...
Can I help you?
I believe we have a friend in common.
Ah, yes. He told me you were coming. The door code is 23489.
I should have joined the union.
one.